Hey, welcome back, Tyler, Pump Track Locator. So we're here in Sandy, Oregon. This is about a 40-minute drive outside of Portland, about a 25-minute drive to Hood River, which we did the Hood River Pump Track tour already. And then you've got obviously Hood Mountain if you do snowboarding. That I think is about a 45-minute drive up. But what we got here is a brand new 2-week-old pump track. It's called Basecamp. It's an action sports park. So, give you the legend here. I'll probably take a still of this one just so you can have a real good reference of it. But they got a little overview or a lookout. So go ahead and film that. And so what you got is just a massive skate park. So giant skate park. Then you got a skills jump track on the right. You got a small pump track, larger pump track. It appears to me that the skills jump park is done by a company called ASO, which I'll look them up. I've never heard of them, but it looks like they did a pretty phenomenal job. Pump tracks are obviously Velo Solutions. And what looks like it'd be 2 wall rides, it's only 1 wall ride. So as we start filming these, I'm learning tricks, and the trick is I need to ride these first, do my ride throughs, and then film as I'm doing now. That way I can give you more insight on the pump track and the flow and how things work. So I'll keep going through here. This will probably be a pretty long video because we did multiple ride throughs. But you got your ascend level, so beginner and intermediate. And what they've got there is you just roll down to the left. You don't hit the dirt, or the wood jumps. And it's 2 tabletops. I'll give you a little insight on the second tabletop if you're a beginner. Then you got the advanced line, which loops back around behind the pump track. It does not tie into the pump track. And then I'm gonna go ahead and walk down the stairs just so I can show you the reason for that is 2 things. I think the stairs were built with these larger pave areas on each side for skateboarders and even bike riders to do the rails. I could be wrong with that, but don't know why they would have such an extra large takeoff on the paved area. The skate park itself, I'm not a skate park rider by any means, but it's multiple bowls, multiple levels. So I'm going to do just a quick tour of the skate park, because some guys are going to go these pump tracks, are obviously going to have the skills to ride skate park as well. And this is probably the nicest one I've ever seen. That being said, this part of this tour is going to be Oregon, California, all the way down into LA, including Santa Cruz and Temecula. So I'm sure we're going to see some pretty epic skate parks. But you can look here, you got more of the street. So this is good for BMX and skate. Really cool kind of overflow water feature. You see like at a dam or something, but it's pretty neat. That'd look like pretty fun to ride. Lots of little transitions, and then you got a big bowl. So really big skate park. And the reason I went down the stairs is I wanted to show you this. So when you start up there at the sign, you can pretty much coast it. I don't think you would even need to pedal. And then you're going to end up hitting your right hand line for the jumps, or your intermediate line on the left with the tables. So, and then as you roll down, you could easily hit a double there. It'd be a pretty good sized double, but you could double into that, especially if you pedal. It'd be easy to jump that, BMX rider. And so here's your jump lines as I go through. And again, I got ride throughs of all this, but it's way too wet. The wood is just like super slippery. It's also new, so it's really slippery. So we're not jumping any of this. Pump track actually really doesn't have a lot of jump lines on it, to be honest, but the intermediate line's got tabletop. And I just wanted to show you 2 things. So if you're an intermediate guy or even a beginner, when you're jumping this table, you're going to instantly come into a pretty sharp turn. So obviously just, hit your brakes a little bit on the end, and then you're going to roll back out of that. The jump line itself, it's got a cool little transition, kind of like a 90 degree and another 90 degree. And then you could jump into the wall ride and then out. And then what it does is it goes around the back side of the pump track, up the paved area. And so what I'm assuming they're wanting you to do is kind of ride out and walk up the stairs, hit the jump line again. Because if you were to roll back through the intermediate line and roll up, if you got anybody up top there, they're not going to see you, so you're going to have a bunch of collisions. So just a heads up on that. Small pump track here. So it's pretty cool how they're doing the 2 levels of pump tracks, and that's nice too, because these get pretty busy. So if you get 2 pump tracks, the little guys can ride this, the more advanced guys can ride the large pump track. Now again, this one's 2 weeks old, so you're gonna have to forgive them with some drainage. I'm positive they'll get that worked out. This is done by the city of Sandy, so they got the resources. They'll get drain in here, no problem. And it doesn't matter anyway. You can actually just ride around it, so it's not really an issue. And so small pump track, and again, we got ride-throughs of those. Super cool. Super neat seating area, cool benches with the wood. We're just up from, like, I think it's Wood Village or in Sandy itself. This type of architecture is all over the place here down in Oregon. It's pretty cool, Northwest. So it's gonna have a really cool tree, a little gathering spot, like it. Then you got the large pump track, and it flows really well. Watch the ride through of it. We didn't rip through it because of the water, but it's got it's a lot bigger than it looks because it's multiple turns. Cool corkscrew. The corkscrew flows much better than the Hood River one down there that we complained about a little bit because it was pretty tight. But you know, a couple guys commented on that you just got to get your flow right on there, which is probably right. Not a lot of jump lines here on this one. It's a true pump track. I mean, and it's fast. We went through it, you know, as fast as we could with the weather. We didn't even go up on the wood wall ride. All the wood is ultra slippery. But again, epic pump track. So watch the pump rides. We did ride through the jump line. We just rode over it. So, but we did a pretty thorough tour of this. So you can see in the background, you got a slide, you got a zip line, playground. I believe all the area over there is just kind of picnic, dog park. And again, this is 2 weeks old of us filming this. I think they've been working on it for about 5-6 months. It is super duper nice. That's all I can say. So again, like, subscribe. We're trying to film as many of these we can. All right, guys, Tyler, Pump Track Locator. So we're going to do a ride through of the new Basecamp Action Park here in Sandy, Oregon. So Sandy, Oregon, about a 40-minute drive outside of Portland. It was a good 3-hour drive down here from Seattle, Tacoma area. And so what they've got here is a bunch of different levels, skill park. So you got a small pump track, large pump track, skills park on the right. So they're calling that their jump line or their altitude line. And then a smaller jump line with tables on the left. Unfortunately, super duper wet, so I'm just going to do a ride through on this, and if it dries up a little bit, I'll try to do some, you know, maybe do the jump line and ride through this. But I've got a pretty long trip ahead of me with hitting multiple pump tracks. So the first thing I want to do is not go out and smash myself up. But super cool entrance, so you just kind of zip into this thing. Obviously, you could double this right here. And now you can start seeing some of the skills park, but you know, super cool tabletops. So 2 of those, nice landings. Then you can just zip back out of here. Now you can see we're on the lower level. So lower level has 2 pump tracks. One of them's got a little water in the middle of it, so they'll have to work on some drainage. But again, this is brand new, so they're working out the kinks. So let's zip through the small one. Again, you got some water here, but they'll get that sorted out. Nice little roll through section. Good flow. Okay, let's ride through the big pump track. Okay, so that was a full ride through. That's nice, it flows really well. So, still working on the drainage here. Brand new track, they'll get all that sorted out. I mean, right there, they just need to cut those down a little deeper and they'll flow right out. And then I'm gonna take a look and see how this skills park jumps in. It's from a company called ASO. I'm gonna look them up. I'll give them some props in the video. Obviously the larger one is Velo Solutions. And it looks like just the skills park just kind of flows right into the pump tracks, what I'm seeing there, which makes sense with the 2 wall rides. Okay, Sandy, Oregon Basecamp. Gonna do the jump line. This is what they're calling their altitude, more their advanced. On the left, if you stay on the same line, it's just tables. They're calling that more their beginner or intermediate line. And if you've watched the video till now, you're gonna notice it's just way too slippery to try to jump any of this stuff. So we're just gonna go ahead and do a coast through. The nice thing about this is if you don't hit a jump right or you case, you don't have to hit the next one. You can roll over and finish out the line. The way this is set up, you have to finish your line out. You can't really, there's multiple people here, you can't really ride back. So anyway, come back down, plenty of speed. So obviously you can easily hit these wood ramps. And what's cool is that every one of them is paved. So just super nice. It looks like it flows. Once you coast, you're done, you don't have to pedal. And they're still working on all this. You can see the drainage. So they'll get those drainage issues figured out, everybody does. But as you can see, super cool. And then it's got kind of a jump into a wall ride, which is nice. And you watching the video, I made a mistake there. The pump track only has 1 wall ride. And then when you come back out of here, you know, they're really wanting you to kind of ride back out of the park, it looks like. So, or just, you know, start here and ride the pump track. But to hit those jump lines, you kind of have to ride back up, and they've got a way to ride back up on the side a little bit, but it's a little sketchy to, a bunch of people here, you're gonna come back down, you're gonna have a bunch of riders coming down, you're just gonna have a bunch of collisions. So it looks to me like they're really recommending you kind of ride back out of here or walk back up. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that on this video so you can kind of see what you're dealing with. But if you're riding, you could easily hop right up on that and ride up. But for me, I'm gonna walk it up. So you just got a few steps of stairs. Nothing major. So again, that's the jump line, pretty nice. And then since I'm here, I'll go ahead and do just a separate one of the ascend line, which is the one that most of the guys are gonna take to get down to the pump track, I would assume. Okay, so this is the ascend line, so it's just to the left, starts the same, all coast. And what you got is just 2 tabletops. So tabletop 1, tabletop 2, and then you're pretty much gonna hammer the brakes and zip back out of here, and then you just got a little roller. And now you're back down here at the pump tracks and the skate park. And again, the only thing I noticed here with design is you pretty much have to take the stairs back out, because if you ride back up like I'm doing now, what's gonna happen with a full group of people here, all of a sudden you're riding back, you're just gonna get whacked. So they're probably gonna put some signs, I would assume, for that. But again, it's time, if there's no one here, free reign, you just ride back out. Super nice though, brand new, really nice.